I want it to be at least a 20-footer. Well, I'm sure that small crack could probably be a big crack. Cut the head off, and you got your stud. You better be careful. End up hiring Willie Nelson. Well, that's a little tight. That made sense in my head. I'm not sure what it meant to you. Good morning, y'all. Welcome back to Johnson's Garage. We are doing more race car stuff today. First, well, I got that load of tires there, a total of 20 tires that got to go to storage where Pearl is. Well, I say storage, they're just going to the shop in Wheatley. I got 8 American Racers not on wheels and 12 on wheels, and some are beadlock. I'm going to keep the ones that are on wheels, take them back home, get them broke down. We'll get that done, I'll be right back. All right, tires without wheels have been dropped off. That leaves me tires with wheels. A lot of them got the beadlock on them, so I'm going to take the beadlocks off. I can separate those tires and wheels. The rest of them are going to go over to Scotty's to get tore down for the winter. Not sure what to do with this transmission here. Todd said it was a parts transmission, so a couple pieces missing out of here. Other than that, I'm not sure what else is missing off it, but I got that and a torque converter. Maybe it'll just ride with me for the winter. Waiting on some good weather, and I know that's a stretch here. It's middle of November. Today's not too bad. We're going to finish getting the decals off the car. Well, here, let me show you. And again, I apologize for the wind. The front nose is going to come off. I got another one ordered. Got pretty much all the decals off except for like a couple of stickers here and there. Other than that, everything's pretty much off. I may have mentioned it before, but this here, rather than replace the whole door, because there's really nothing wrong with the door, like crease here, but that's no big deal. I'm just going to cut that out, weld the new piece of metal in, and be done with it. I got the rear spoiler off it. It's in the shop getting redone, and I'm going to pull this here off. I got a couple of end pieces. I'm going to pick the best one that I got, and then we're just going to sand it down and repaint it and reuse it. Not sure whether I'm going to replace this piece of metal right here or not. Only thing is, it's just not attached inside there. Otherwise, it's a floppy. But that's where we're at with it. I mean, poor girl's sitting outside. If it was inside and warm, we'd be all over this thing. But right now, it is what it is. You know, like I said, the rear spoiler's on the bench here. It's about to get sanded down and redone. It's in pretty good shape. Small crack here, no big deal. I mean, you're not going to see that running around in a circle, and I'm sure that small crack will probably be a big crack by the time we're done with it. So we're going to get this here done up, and we're going to get both side fins done up, and we'll see where the weather takes us from there. We're working with what we got. It's in the driveway. Pearl is in the shop in Wheatley, taking up space there. She'll get some work done to her soon. But for now, we're just trying to get done what we can get done without freezing. My old bones don't like the cold no more. Well, first part's taken off the car with the rear spoiler. I got a couple of end pieces as well. However, this one here doesn't have any bolts like that one there does. What we're going to do is we're going to take a 1/4-20 and we're going to cement it in the hole, screw it down as far as it can go, and then I'll just take a cutoff wheel and cut the head off, and then we have our threaded bolt. Now this one here seems to be chewed up just a little bit on the edge there, so I think I'm going to cement a washer on there as well, and then thread the bolt in. Is it going to help? I don't know. Is it going to hurt? No, probably not. So we're going to do it. Just let that go down in there. Maybe. That'll work. That'll work. What a mess that turned out to be. We're going to take our washer. Just set it on there for now. I'll take our 1/4-20. Get it started. All right, that's it. Now we'll let that harden up overnight, before we actually do the sanding on the rest of this to get it ready for paint. But let that harden up, cut the head off, and you got your stud. Never mind, get the other one down here, be right back. So this spoiler is fiberglass, and from the looks of it, it's been white, red, black, maybe a little bit of yellow in there as well. If I tried to sand it down with the orbital sander, even with 220 grit, yeah, better be careful. Chose to not go that route, so now I'm sanding it by hand. Seems to work pretty good, but somebody may have one time have used some type of a sanding wheel and left all these in there. Now they're not deep, but I'm going to sand them down by hand the best I can on both sides, and then we're going to get some high build primer on there. Guys, I know it's a race car. I want it to look good, knowing full well it's probably not going to last long, but still, first appearance, I want it to look good. So I'm going to finish sanding this by hand, and when I get ready to spray some primer on here, I'll get back to you. I think I'm going to be a while. All right, here's where we are. Everything all sanded down best we could. I got it all white down, got the heat turned off so that we don't go boom when I start painting this thing. And we're using some real rust primer, and I don't think it's going to rust because it's fiberglass. We're not building a showroom car here, guys. I know it's not probably going to last long, but it is what it is. We got her sanded down. Obviously, we're going to put decals on the back of this thing, so I want it as smooth and looking as good as possible. So let's get a coat of primer on there and we'll see how it looks. All right, let's get to it. Always wear a mask for safety. Whew. Let me paint the rest of this. I'll get back to you. Well, there is one coat of primer on there. So got a little bit of red showing through there. Not a big deal. Why am I primering it? Well, because I'm going to paint this and I want the paint to stick a little better. One piece at a time. So I'm going to get out of here before I end up hiring Willie Nelson. And I'll come back in about an hour when this stuff's all set up. Sand it down lightly, and I do mean lightly. I'll put another coat of primer on it and we'll let it sit overnight. Because it is dark. I'm into the evening hours. Time for an update. It is way past my bedtime, but not looking too bad. You got a couple little nicks here and there. I think it'll still look pretty good. A little bit of a mess up over here. All good. Last thing I got to do now is put one more coat of paint on the center part. This is the part that mounts to the trunk. Coat of paint. I'm not painting nothing. What I'm doing is putting primer on it. See, it's late. I need to get to bed. So let's get that on there and I can call it a night. Good morning, y'all, and welcome back. This is what we have been up to today. Yep, trying to get the wheels done. It's Friday night, and well, it ain't nothing sexy, let me tell you, but it's got to be done. We got probably 10 more to do. You see, they were red at one time, then silver. Now they're going black. I'm not sure if we're keeping the American Racer or we're going to put Hoosiers on them, but might be putting Hoosiers on them and trading off the American Racers for the Hoosier. I don't know yet, but nevertheless, I want to get the wheels done while the weather's nice outside, and you know, a little bit of light sanding, nothing big. I mean, I got some 180 grit here, and I'm just running it around there, scuffing it all up, taking off all the loose paint, and you know, that's it. Comes right off. Okay, easy peasy. Let's get her done. We don't have to strip this right down to the bare metal. All we're doing is scuffing everything up so the paint's got somewhere to hook to. Hook, adhere. But what we're using, now, truth be told, I bought this for Jen's car because I was doing the wheels on her car. And I bought 2 cans of this, and it's expensive stuff. I mean, it's duplicolor wheel paint. It's going on the race car. Do not say a word. Alright, so now I just took a piece of cardboard, and because there's no air in these tires, I got a nice gap in between the tire and the wheel. I go all the way around the top first. First coat is not heavy. Top ring is done. Now we just go to the inside. Now, we'll just let that one coat set up. And we'll be back to put the second coat on. Alright, bring you all in and have a look. See right over here, it's in there close enough. It's peeling on the red. That's the first wheel that's done that to. I think it's going to work. I mean, this has got to be good for 20 horsepower and some seriously good handling on the car. I'm going to let this dry up a little bit more. I'm going to hit that spot one more time, and then we're going to call this one done. And then I only got 14 more to do. It's going to be a long day. I'm not going to make you stick around for all that. We'll be back when it's all done. Before we move on, I think we're going to put some air in this tire and see if it actually holds air. If it does, we'll just run her the way she is. If not, it'll get fixed. $15 should be enough for now. There we are. Let that one dry up. We'll put it with the rest. We'll get another one in here, get it sanded down, and like I said, I'll get back to you when it's done because y'all don't want to sit around and watch paint dry with me. Well, good morning. We are back at it. We got most of the wheels done. These are all done. 4 in the car to do, and these 2. That should be it for the wheels. But today, I think we're going to work on the body a little bit. We are going to take the trunk lid off. Add another piece of metal on there just because we can. I think we're going to sand it down just a little bit. Also, what we might do if we're feeling really ambitious. How you doing there, cornbread? Hey, buddy. If we're feeling ambitious, we might try and knock some of the dents out of here. They're pretty minor. I mean, it's not worth replacing a panel. Like I said before, that's got to be done. And there's quite a dent here, which I'm sure a hammer will take care of that. But other than that, this car's in pretty good shape. So let's get this trunk lid off and let's get to it. All right, let's get it in the shop. Good morning, y'all. It is the next day. We got our metal here. Gonna talk to you about that. But yeah, here's our metal, 4x10. So we got all kinds of things going on here we're going to talk about in a second, but first I'll talk to you about that sheet metal. I was looking around. I'm 30 minutes from Princess Auto. So I got on the Princess Auto website. I believe it was a 2 foot by 4 foot sheet. Let me show you. That's 2 foot. This sheet is 4 feet. Let's talk about this. Again, I got on the Princess Auto website looking for a piece of metal because I wasn't sure whether I was going to replace the whole body on the Camaro or not. I did know I needed to fix the trunk lid. 2 foot by 4 foot piece of 22 gauge steel. I believe it was $69. That's a lot. And it's 30 minutes away. Now, 3 minutes away is Tilbury Steel. Yep, Tilbury Steel. And they pretty much have everything. No, this is not a sponsored video. They did not pay me, and they're not a sponsor on the race car. Although they should be. Tilbury Steel, if you're listening. I walked into the office there, told them what I wanted. I wanted some 24 gauge steel. Guy in the back pipes up, says, "Don't have 24, we got 22. Perfect, how much?" About $70. So they get it all set up, punch it all on the computer, and here's what it cost. 22 gauge steel, 48 by 120 inches. That is 10 feet long. He was right, $70. $79 total. That's tax and everything, and obviously pay with my debit card. So, are we being ripped off? Obviously not by Tilbury Steel. Princess Auto. You got to do better. You got to do a lot better. Guys, if you're looking for any metal, go check out Tilbury Steel. And like I said, they're not a sponsor on the car. They're not a sponsor on the channel, although they should be. Yeah, I mean, if I find a good deal somewhere, I'm going to let y'all know. And to me, that's a good deal. If you can get it cheaper somewhere else, you go ahead. But this place is around the corner from my house. Anyway, let's get to work here. Enough babbling on. So before y'all lose your biscuits, I am not a sheet metal guy. I am not. I'd like to learn, which is exactly what I'm doing, but I am not a sheet metal guy. But if you look at my trunk lid, this is the bottom half of the trunk lid. It's been cut out, rusted out, rusted out, rusted out. All I wanted to do was make a new piece for this here. Gotta fold over, cut some edges off over here and fold that over, and then get this here folded over a little more. It's all folded over and clipped on. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flip it over, pop rivet it on, and then take my hammer and dolly, which I did a little bit on here, but you know, got more waves than Lake Erie right now, but we'll try and get that worked out. Pop rivets, well, I'm using these ones right here. Now I know, you can't use those aren't race rivets. I'm aware they're not race rivets, but race rivets got the big head on them, which is nothing wrong with that. But this is going under the spoiler. So I don't want the big head, I want the small head. So I put the spoiler on, and the spoiler will still sit flat on the trunk lid. So, plus I don't have any. That's the truth. I don't have any. This is what it is. That's what we're going to use. The rivet gun that I had from 1960 decided it didn't want to work. So, but right now, I'm at a standstill because I don't have a rivet gun. So, let's head out, get a rivet gun, and get this deck lid finished. I'm going to sand it down. I'm going to put some primer on it. Now, we're not building the car for Peterson's here. It is a race car after all. I want it to be at least a 20-footer. That's what we're going for. So let's load up. We're going to head to Canadian Tire, my least favorite place in the world. And we're going to go get a rivet gun. Well, I made it back finally. Nothing can kill your day more than running around trying to get some parts. Went and got another rivet gun. We'll see how long it lasts. And I bought another box of rivets just in case. Just going to start off by doing the seam all the way across. That way we can secure it. It'll work or it won't. Let's see what we got. Childproof. Yeah. Let's see if this thing's going to work. Oh, I thought that would have took more than one pump, but hey. And already we got the nail stuck in there. No surprise there. Well, that was a little more work than I was hoping for, but here's what we got. So we are riveted all the way along. So that is now attached to the trunk lid. It's certainly going to look better than it was, but I got to get the edge rolled over here just a little bit better. I mean, kind of still looking like a bag of wieners here, but you know, we'll get it. And hopefully, by the end of this video, we'll get that thing sanded down and in primer. That's the goal. Show you all what we got going on here. So I'm using this pipe as a rounded edge to bead on. This is a nice round over right here. It's not too bad. And then it gets to a hard edge. Well, I just beat this with beat the hard edge with a hammer while holding onto the pipe. And it seemed to take it out quite a bit. So we're going to do that all the way along here. And then we're going to call that good enough. Yeah, we're going to call that good enough. Go try this on the car, see what it looks like. Alright, let's see what we got. So those are Wraffle right there. Well, that's a little tight. Not a big deal though. Here, have a look. These aren't tight, right? The hinges at the top aren't tight. See over here, we're gonna have to pound that in a little bit. This side here, we might have to just cut just a little bit off of this edge right over on the car side. Other than that, I think it's gonna fit. Okay, we can probably, looking at this here edge, we can probably bring this edge over another 1/4 of an inch. That might give us the clearance we need. And then we can actually pound the edge down to where we need it. I think it's going to work. It's been a minute. We had to run out for a roadside emergency. The Outlaws kind of got stuck on the side of the road. That's almost taken care of. I'll have to finish that later tonight. Bit of a problem on the trunk lid. This piece of metal that I put across here is obviously rigid. The deck lid has a bit of a bow in it to match the spoiler. This metal is not allowing this to bow. Now, some of the bolt holes, as you can see, are a little off. These ones are right on. That one's off a little bit. That one's on. But I think what we're going to do is as usual, overcomplicated things. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this metal right up to here. And I'm going to go straight on across, probably up to here, and go with that. That way it'll let some of the flexibility back in the hood so that it'll get its bow in so that we can get these holes to line up. Because no matter how hard you push that, that is not going to line up. Even if I did waller out that hole a little bit. So let me get this cut down. I'll get back to you and we'll see where we're at from there. I gotta tell you, nothing makes me happier than doing things twice. But I guess that's how you figure it out. So this is what we got. We're back to this bag of wieners here. Gonna cut this out right here and just basically replace it right here. Just like that. That way we can still get some of the flexibility out of the hood because it's not allowing it to bow to fit into this rear spoiler. How many of y'all knew that? How many of y'all saw that coming and then knew this was going to happen? I bet more than one of you. Let me get out the hand shears. I'll cut this out and we'll get back to her. Well, we got her knocked down to a sliver again. Let's see if we can make this work. Alright, survey says not yet. See where I bent that over there? I gotta get it back opened up so that it'll slide over the end. That might work. I gotta come over there and get you. You gotta see this. I should have done this from the start instead of thinking I was going to do the whole panel. I mean, this over here, there's not a whole lot I can do with that. That is what it is. But here, I got it hooked on the end. You got to bring this down to match the bottom here. And when you bring that down to match the bottom all the way along, look, the holes line up. Big dummy, should have done that the first time. And most of you are down there saying, yep, that's the way you should have done it the first time. Anyway, let me drill a few holes in here. I'm going to get some rivets in there. And I'm not sure where we're going to go from here. And before I started all this little project here, I told you I'm not a tin guy. I don't know how to work with sheet metal. I don't know much about sheet metal, but I want to learn. So if you're learning, you're going to make mistakes. And if you don't make mistakes, you're not going to learn. That made sense in my head. I'm not sure what it meant to you, but it made sense in my head. Anyway, let me get some rivets in there. Oh, check this out. What's the easy way to get the rivet rings off your drill bit? I need that answer kind of now. I'm waiting. Alright, I'll use the last 3/4 of an inch of this drill bit and I'll drill some more holes and I'll get some rivets in here and hopefully we can call this almost done. By George, looks like we got it. That'll all go, that's all going through the holes down there. We'll bolt that down there, bolt that down here. We're good. If you recall, I had the sheet metal coming all the way out to here. You can see the holes there where they were. And some of it was showing. I didn't like that, and I was going to end up cutting some of that off. Well, I cut a lot of that off because, well, we're not where it's supposed to be, and I kind of like it that way. So I'm going to bolt this on here just to make sure it's going to be where it's going to be. And I'm going to sand this down and prime it. Finally. I love doing things twice. Just love it. Bolted down, just finger tight. That's why we've got that little bit of a gap in there. Not a big deal. When we tighten up all the nuts, we're going to be good. Looks better than having that metal sticking out. I knew I would have took it apart and did it over again. So now we're going to take the spoiler off it. We're going to sand this down. We're going to prime it. And we're going to call it done. As you take a look outside there, we are once again working late into the evening. But this is going to be our last stop. Just got the edge on here. Painted. Primered. Not painted. I had already sanded this down with 220. Didn't think you wanted to watch me sand this panel. But we are going to paint it. And you're... sorry to throw you around like that. But you are going to watch. Well, I hope you're going to watch. Because I got to do it. So hopefully you're... You know what I'm trying to say. Let's get this thing... I kept going to say painted. I got to learn to speak. It ain't getting painted. It's getting primed. You big dummy. Alright. Let's get her done. Don't have a whole lot left in this can, but we're going to use her up. I think I got another can. Whew. How's that ventilation working for us? You can miss the spot. Alright, there's the first coat. We'll let that dry up for a few minutes, and then we're going to hit with the second one. And the panel's going to be done. Well, there you have it. Deck lid is done and back together. Actually, the fit is pretty good. And with the side fins already done, this will be ready to go back on the car. Now, to the veterans out there, this is probably not new. It's probably not hard. It's probably not whatever. To those of us that are new, well, it can be challenging sometimes. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there like you that may want to learn how to do this sort of thing. Just grab a hammer, grab some sheet metal and some shears and give it a try. Worst thing that's going to happen is you mess up a piece of sheet metal, grab another piece and go at it again. The challenge, well, that's going to be when we get to the actual body panels. Not quite sure what we're doing there yet. In fact, both ways. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, and I'm not sure I know what I'm doing. In fact, I know I don't know what I'm doing. But we're going to give it a shot anyways. Why? Because I want to try. And I encourage you all to try as well. And for you folks at home, if there's something that you want to try you're not sure about, give it a shot. What's the worst that's going to happen? You got to start over. And with that, that's going to be it for this video. And we're probably going to have part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5. Maybe a whole lot of parts, I don't know. But we're going to move on to the body next. And we're going to bring that to you as well. And when I screw it up, like I did over here, well, you're going to see it. Just kind of is what it is. I'm not hiding nothing. So you all have yourselves a great night. I'll see you all in the next one. Later.